Boo 7 putting out a heads up for folks out there that may see some large-scale activity out there in the New York area. They're saying that this large-scale multi-agency nuclear incident training exercise begins today. And it's going to go through multiple counties in New York, including Albany, Saratoga. Massive training exercise that they say poses no risk to the public. But we've seen things pop off and go live in the past at the same time as drills. And we like to just keep track of what's going on out there. If people see a lot of movement, they're like, dude, what is the DOD and the DOE and the FBI and DHS and all them doing running around here? Well, this is why in these regions. So they say the general areas in which the training exercise will take place include areas around the Albany Airport to the Stratton Air National Guard Base in northern Saratoga County. So they have several local and state law enforcement, fire, emergency management, and other agencies also participating in the training. So you're going to see police, sheriffs, fire department, EMS, all that. So for people that don't know that this is going to be going on, it's going to catch them off guard. But this is going to be a big one. They say due to the sensitive nature of the capabilities being implemented, the training activities are not open to the public or media. So they're going to be trying to keep things hidden behind, I don't know, you can't say closed doors if it's an outdoor thing, but if anyone gets any footage or anything of this, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. I'll share it on the live stream.
Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashemi Havashai. Give honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. I'm your brother Yoel Call from Great Millstone, Orlando. And, you know, these devils, as usual, they're up to something. All right. I got another video that I want to play. You know, going into a transcript, you know, by you know, this what some may say to be a prophet. You know, he has prophetic dreams, visions, you know. But the real prophets, a real prophet can only be Israelites, all right? You know, but nevertheless, the Lord did say that he will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. And I just found it, you know, rather interesting to speak on. Just because, you know, it's one of those things, it's a sleight of hand, you know, which Esau, typically he puts something out there, a certain distraction or distractions, but behind closed doors, he's making all type of moves, you know. I was seeing somewhere that they got, because they're moving a lot of military equipment, nukes and things of that nature, pretty much set things in place in preparation for something, all right? And as has been said over the years, you know, in regards to a certain event or series of events that's going to trump 9/11, is going to trump 2020, the world crisis. All right. You know, so again, these devils, they're up to something, you know, and going back to this next video that I'm going to play. Like I said, you know, this, what some perceive to be a prophet, which again, real prophets are on, you know, only Israelites. All right. But nevertheless, the Lord does give people, men, women, children, even other nations, dreams, visions. All right. And this particular individual, you know, he's had certain, apparently, you know, this is all alleged, you know. He was doing this. This is the same guy that basically had a dream or a vision about the whole attempt on DJ Trump's life. Apparently, because you know, with the attempt on Trump's life, all right. You know, when he got shot through the ear, you know. Apparently this individual, he again had a prophetic dream in detail, you know, pretty much explaining what transpired on the day of, again, Trump and the attempt on his life. Apparently, allegedly, he also had dreams about prophetic dreams before they happened in regards to the events that took place in New Orleans, Vegas, those attacks that took place at the start of the so-called New Year. Apparently he, again, you know, spoke on that as well before it happened. So, there's a series of things, this particular individual that he spoke on. Again, people are hailing this man to be a prophet and whatnot. All right. But nevertheless, not too long ago, he had another quote unquote prophetic dream, vision, going into a series of attacks on major cities. All right. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and, because again, with all this being said, all these nuclear submarines being placed. All right. Basically, it's like a scene from the Wild Wild West. Everyone's pointing their guns at one another. I'm going to grab this real quick because this is the result of Esau being in power. Right here it is. The earth is supposed to be. The earth was created for man to enjoy it. But, Esau, he's turned the world into a wilderness. Right. Basically turned the world into a wasteland. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 17. Going into, again, Esau, the so-called white man. All right. Everyone, again, hails this man as God, as a God. All right. But the time is coming, and that's apparent now. This is already taking place as we speak. Esau, he's losing his power structure. Everyone's starting to see this man for what and who he really is, which is the devil. Isaiah 14 and 17. Straight to the point. Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Because Esau, he's ruled the world with a rod of iron. All right. This merciless dragon. Right. It says, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Because you see, even under the Israelites being under captivity under the other nations, we at least knew who we were. We still had our heritage. It wasn't until we got into Esau's hand, Esau's rulership, under his rulership, that's when we fell away as a people, and it's just been pure hell, But the point being, it said he made the world as a wilderness. Like I said, the earth was created for man to actually enjoy the earth. The earth is supposed to yield whole fruit. It's supposed to be, plentiful, But here it is. The scriptures go into how Esau, he changed the ordinances of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Now the earth is sick, is dying. All right, the scriptures refer to Esau as the curse of the earth. You see? And again, he's turned the world into a wilderness. A lot of these once flourishing, prosperous nations are now third world countries because of the so-called white man. You see? And the scriptures go into how these nations, matter of fact, let me grab that. In Joel, Joel chapter 3. In verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And obviously we've been seeing this, all right, throughout the years, right? But the point being, these nations, now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it tells you that in Ezekiel, which goes to show you how the people over there in the land right now are not the people of the book. All right. Because if they were the people of the book over there in the, state of Israel, if they were the chosen people, there will be no war. Right. Bear with me as I look for this real quick. Because I just read Joel chapter 3 about beating their plowshares into swords and pruning hooks into spears, right? But it's going to be the complete opposite in the kingdom, which, like I said, goes to show you that the people over there in the land right now claiming to be the people are not the people. Because if they were, there would be peace. All right. So Isaiah 2. Isaiah 2 and 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So once the nation of Israel gets set back up in power, all right. Start with Yahushua first and foremost. And those elect men, they're going to govern the earth. They're going to govern the universe. And all nations are going to be subject to the Israelites. All right. And all nations are going to come. They're going to bring us their riches. All right. They're going to be our tributaries. It says, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. Because you see, after, that first day in the kingdom, the nations are not going to want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why they're going to have to be ruled over with a rod of iron. But once after that 1,000 years, they're going to want to do right. They're never going to be perfect because they're still going to be in the flesh. All right. But they're going to want to, do right after that 1,000 years. All right. Getting that rod, beat over their heads. All right. The rod of iron, they're going to want to do right. They're going to want to keep the law, statutes, commandments, because they're going to come to that understanding like, man, surely this is the wise and understanding people. They're going to find out. This is why we always talk about how, Esau, he's going to have to be separated from the heathens. All right. And that's why I'm going to go back to the Isaiah 14, because, again, these nations look at Esau as a god right now, But when that time comes and they narrowly look upon him like, man, is this the man? We really believe that this man was God, right? We let you beguile us. We let you deceive us in keeping the Israelites down. Because, again, there's going to come a point in time when, again, even the nations are going to realize like, man, this is how life is supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be, right? And there's not going to be no war, Now, again, the nations are still going to be in the flesh, so they're still going to experience death, but that's the beautiful thing about it, because people are simply afraid of death because they simply don't understand it, and once they're given that understanding, everything's going to be at peace, even the nations, they're going to live, they're going to be good after 1,000 years, right? That's why in verse 4, it says, And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So you see, because it just said here they're going to beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, right? But in Joel, going back to Joel 3 and 9 again, it said that Joel 3 and 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So you see, the process is going to be reversed in the kingdom. There's not going to be no more war. All right. But as of right now, going back to Isaiah 14, Esau, he's made the world a wilderness. All right. Going back to Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 17 again. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prison of his prisoners. So you see, all right. With all that being said, again, with all this military movement, you know, like I said, these just go through some of these. I saw one video. Let me just look it up real quick. I'm not going to play it or anything, but I'm gonna just read the title. Because there's a lot of things going on behind closed doors, you know, behind the scenes, again, while people are distracted. Right. I saw this one video by the New York prepper, NY prepper, going into the Russian nuclear warplane moving to Cuba. Right. So what do you think that entails? What do you think that means? All right. There's a lot of chess pieces being moved around right now, you know, and it's no coincidence. Why are they conducting this large scale nuclear training exercise? You see, things that just make you go, right? So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and play this next video. Get right into it. Speed this up. And again, he's just reading this a transcript of this, what people are hailing as a prophet, you know, because he's been apparently he's been on point with some of these prophetic visions that he's been having. All right, so now he's had another, you know, so-called prophetic vision. All right, so I'm gonna play this.
Trump and potential attacks that we've been hearing warnings of for quite some time. But let me go ahead and share this with you. So I'm going to dive into this transcription here. I'm going to read it. This is transcribed exactly word for word. All the ums and the uhs and all that is in here. So that way you can hear exactly what was said. And again, do me a favor. I see we got 3,200 people watching live. Please take a second to hit the like button. Just help spread this out further. Subscribe to stay up to date. And I'm going to read this for you so that way you can go ahead and hear the latest. So it says, if you think what happened in Oklahoma City was big, this was like so much more, you know, like a huge 9/11 type event, y'all. And so, but it wasn't just one. The Lord showed me there was over 1,000 men, and there was 10 major cities. There were 10 cities that the Lord told me. And so all the cities were had a target of like a Trump Tower or a Trump golf course or something like that, you know, was important of our, you know, our heritage, you know, all our, like the Statue of Liberty, it was a target. And I thought, why the Statue of Liberty? It doesn't have a lot of people around it, but it represents freedom. It represents something that's important to us. And so I saw them go in, and they tried to take that out. I saw them over, what's the gardens over there? I'm sorry. Oh, the Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I saw them attacking that as well. I saw them attacking Chicago. I then saw them attacking a Houston area. I saw them attacking the Dallas area. I saw them trying to attack Oklahoma City, Los Angeles, Seattle. There was a lot of cities. This is what I saw coming for. I believe this is not just about the inauguration, folks. This is a lot more than that. This is huge. I saw because he attacked, you know, whenever he assassinated the man in Iraq, Osama Soleimani, I guess is his name. Yeah, that's the name of the guy from the Iranian Jihad. Yeah, okay. So whenever he did that, they're still really upset about this. And so that's what the Lord was showing me is this, that they are planning a bigger attack. This is actually an invasion. This is an act of war for what I believe is coming. It's not like, well, we're saying, well, this is Al-Qaeda, this is ISIS. This is actually Iranian government coming over here. They've come across our borders. I saw them in tunnels that were being smuggled in like traffickers. And I saw tunnels what the Lord showed me is these metal, it looked like metal looking structures. And they were underneath the earth. And they were actually going from Mexico into America into like houses. And they were smuggling like they would do for human trafficking or other things. And I saw these men, and there were literally 1,000 of them. I saw that over 1,000 men that were being smuggled in, and I'm talking big money. This was not just like a little bit of money that I saw that they were paying the smugglers for, funding to get over here. But the Lord told me, he said, I want you to focus on fertilizer. I didn't know what he was saying at that time. I saw all these like farming equipment, and I was like, Lord, what are you showing me? And all of a sudden I saw it was like silos.
Dr. Levitt, I've had my gallbladder removed. What does that mean for my liver health?
So you can absolutely.
So real quick, because, over the years, over the past 4 or 5 years, you've been having certain of these explosive equipment going missing, from these trains and so on and so forth. All right. Which, again, which is why a lot of people suspect that, because they apparently they've still never found all this explosive material, So like I said, man, it's just more things that it makes you go, what are they planning? Right. Because again, these things, what's being predicted, what's being expected, is going to far outdo the Pearl Harbor. Like I said, it's going to far outdo 9/11. It's going to far outdo 2020. And this is what people are preparing for.
He was trying in a vision. He was trying to show me what's coming. So I saw fertilizer, and the Lord said, I want you to remember Timothy McVeigh and remember what happened in Oklahoma City. And so I saw all this fertilizer for quite a while since they've been here. They've been coming over for a long time now. I saw these 3 men for sure. And I can, and if people ask me what they look like, I can describe to the FBI or whoever wants to know. But I saw these 3 men, and the Lord told me that they were like generals in the army of Al-Qaeda people. They were like, these are not like little guys. They were being smuggled over. And the one man was a heavy-set man with a big beard. And the other guy was not as heavy. And then the other guy they were skinnier. And other 2 guys were skinnier. But there's 3 men, and they crossed over around Mexico and Arizona, around that area. And the Lord, that's what I saw in the vision, where these men were coming, and I saw mountains in the background. I could see the sun going down, and they got into a black van. And I think when they got in the black van, they took them north. And that's what the Lord showed me about these 3 men. And they were very powerful in the organization. And so, okay, so I'll go back to what the Lord showed me. So the Lord showed me them gathering the materials for making the bombs for over a year. And so they were getting the fertilizer and the vans, and I saw dump trucks. So, okay, so the Lord showed me that they made them like bulletproof. They put like armor all on the fronts and on the sides. So when they were going through police barricades or whatever, that they would not be stopped by bullets or any kind of retaliation against them. So they made them like tanks. And so they put all this fertilizer and stuff in this vision, what the Lord showed me. It was very detailed. And I saw them split up all of the fertilizer, and they made it into compartments. It looked like 50-gallon drums, but it was humongous, barrels in the back of these huge diesel dump trucks. And so then I saw 2 men in those dump trucks, and they had vests on, explosive vests. They had vests on with these explosive devices all over their vests. And so they used the trucks to go through police barricades. So you couldn't stop them. It was very powerful what they were trying to do. They were blowing out their tires and stuff. But this was, I'm saying this was well funded. And so when they took the trucks, they rammed them through barricades. And when they finally stopped them, they ignited their vests and blew up the whole area. And it wiped out all the buildings. And if you think what happened in Oklahoma City was like so much more, like a huge 9/11 type event, y'all. But it wasn't just one. The Lord showed me there was over 1,000 men, and there was 10 major cities. There was 10 cities, the Lord told me. And so all the cities had a target of like Trump Tower or Trump Golf Course or something that was important of our heritage. Like the Statue of Liberty was a target. And I thought, why the Statue of Liberty? It doesn't have a lot of people around it, but it represents freedom. It represents something that's important to us. And so I saw them go in, and they tried to take that out. I saw over, what's the garden over there? Yes, Madison Square Garden. Yes, I saw them attacking that. I saw them attacking Chicago. I saw them attacking Houston, Dallas. I saw them trying to attack Oklahoma City, LA. I saw them attacking Seattle. there was a lot of cities. Instead of just going over all 10 of them, because it's kind of, ridiculous, but let me see. Okay, so I told you about that. Okay, so they take vans, and I saw the vans, and they had all kinds of different vans, because the vans were you see a big dump truck going down the road, you're going to know it. It's kind of like, especially if it's parked it's mysterious, There was just a couple of those, but there was a lot of vans. I noticed those white cargo vans, and they filled the back of those vans full of highly explosive fertilizer, and they sent those off in like parking garages. They tried to get as close as they could to Trump buildings, to Trump hotels, and they used drones. And the Lord showed me that they would try to attack with drones. They would use drones to go into like stadiums and things, and they could fly into, and I saw them taking those and running them into crowds in stadiums, and they exploded and took out a whole section of people because people weren't expecting it. You're watching the football game or the baseball game or whatever, and so people were not paying attention to what's going on. And so they flew the drones in, and they just set the thing off in the middle of a stadium and unalived, thousands of people. It looked like, and so during the inauguration, the Lord said, you must pray for the inauguration, which I don't know if they're going to have it outside or not now, which breaking from this, letting you guys know, I actually reported today, we heard that it's going to be indoors. Back to this transcript, it says, I've been praying that he would not do the parade and he would not do the event on the 19th, which I think it really interesting is that one of my subscribers pointed out, he said, do you see that it is 119 backwards is 911 or 911? So there you have it, you guys. Now, again, this came out just...
Yeah, that's pretty much it, Again, not saying any of this is valid, but I mean, because this thing, however it plays out, it can play out a number of ways, so nevertheless, and Trump, because he could very well be the guy to, if this thing goes down like this, because mind you, this is not just some singular attack, and some of us have spoken on this, about these series of attacks, simultaneous attacks, right? Which America's not prepared for, they're not ready for this type of an attack on this type of a level, so it's going to completely catch these Americans off guard, right? But something like this with Trump, he could very well declare martial law, easy, but hey, man, as the scriptures say, sudden destruction, as the Lord emphasizes that sudden destruction, one day you're just going to wake up and, people will be going to the football games, right? Or whatever the case may be, whatever form of distraction. And next thing you know, you're going to be in the spiritual realm, next thing you know, you're going to be fighting for your life, whatever the case may be, man, because we know at any day, any moment, no man knows the hour or the day but Yahweh himself. But we know that any day, any moment, all right, something's going to pop off and this is going to change the course of how we live, right? Something's going to pop off to where it's just going to be a complete dystopian type of environment, all right, which will in turn lead to the MOTB, all right. So there's just a lot of things in place, and like I said, I just thought it was rather interesting. Again, apparently, this dude, he's been it appears he's been on point with some of these prophetic visions. All right. Which I believe is really for the elect to really, take heed because we're close. Lord willing, we're of that number, because, as the scriptures say, be not ignorant in anything, in any matter, small or great. As I always say, it could be something, it could be nothing. But as brothers say, it's better to stay ready so we won't have to get ready. It's better to be ready so we won't have to get ready. However it plays out, we know that any day now, any day now. So with that being said, man, let's not get too caught up into the cares and entanglements of this life, because life, as we know, is about to change very dramatically. All right. But Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praises to you. How about Shai? Shalom to you, hopefully elect.